5.7, Solving Inequalities. So I'm going to try and get my armadillo to come back. Solving inequalities. So we're going to use the same process as solving equations, but our solution is going to be an inequality and have infinite possibilities. That means there are infinite numbers that x can be that will make the sentence true. Test a few numbers to be sure that your solution is correct. So here's an example problem. We have 5x minus 6 is less than or equal to 39. Remember, I'm looking for values of x that will make this true. But because this side, or this member, has to be less than or equal to 39, there's going to be infinite possibilities that would work. So I'm going to do the same process as solving equations. So I think about this as the middle or the fulcrum of my inequality. I'm going to add 6 to both sides because I do the opposite of PEMDAS. This cancels, and I get 5x equals 39 plus 6 gives me 45. But it's not equals. I make the mistake that a lot of people do. It should be less than or equal to carry the sign down. And now I'm going to divide by 5 on both sides to undo the multiplication. 5's cancel. And my final solution is x is less than or equal to 9. So that process should not be foreign to you. But now let's look at what our solution is. X is less than or equal to 9. That means any number that is less than or equal to 9 will work in this equation or in this inequality. So to put my answer on a graph, I'm going to do a filled-in circle on 9 because 9 can be a possible solution. And everything, my shading is a little off, in this direction would work. Okay, if you want to use a highlighter, sometimes that's a little bit easier to work with. So that's how you do it. But now let's test a few numbers to be sure that my solution is correct. And you can do this mentally. Anything that's along the shaded line should work in the inequality. So let's pick something easy. How about 0? So if I put a 0 in here, I would have 5 times 0, which is 0, minus 6 is less than or equal to 39. 0 minus 6 is negative 6. Is negative 6 less than or equal to 39? Yes, so it works. If I picked something else like 4, I would put it in here. 5 times 4 gives me 20. 20 minus 6 is less than or equal to 39. 20 minus 6 gives me 14. Is 14 less than or equal to 39? Indeed it is. So I know that I've gotten my solution correct. Testing it can be done mentally, but it's a good idea, especially with inequalities, to make sure that you've gone the right way on your number line. Okay, moving along. Sometimes you're going to have a funny situation, which involves what's in blue at the top. And when you're writing your note to self, what's in blue at the top should be starred, should be highlighted, should be screaming out to you so that you remember to pay attention to this. It says, when multiplying or dividing an inequality by a negative number, you must reverse the direction of the sign. And you will see they work through this whole process in your book. They take you slowly through it. So again, I'm going to solve this one. The only difference between this problem and the one before is that my 5x is now a negative 5x. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. And I get negative 5x is less than or equal to 45. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5 instead of by regular 5 because my coefficient is a negative, which cancels, and I get x, and over here I get negative 9. So my answer is different from what it was before, because before it was positive 9. Now my answer is negative 9. And using the rule above, it says I have to change the direction of my sign. So I try to do a whoop-de-doo here to try and remind myself to do that, because it's hard to remember that the sign's going to have to go the other direction. And the reason why, it's hard to explain, but one of the reasons why I believe is because the numbers on the positive side go in an upward direction. The numbers on the negative side are going in the opposite direction. So when you get a solution, if you don't change the sign, you're actually going to get a solution that doesn't work. But let's go ahead and graph our solution first. X is bigger than or equal to 9. Shade that in. And if it's bigger than, I'm going to go this direction. And everything that's shaded in should work. So if I pick something easy, let's pick a 0 because that's an easy one to work with. And let's plug it in up here. 0 minus 6 is less than or equal to 39. I get 0 minus 6 is less than or equal to 39. That gives me negative 6 being less than or equal to 39. Is that true? Indeed it is. And if you pick anything else along up here, you will find that it works. So 10, if I use 10, I would have negative 5 times 10, which is negative 50. Minus 6 is less than or equal to 39. So that gives me negative 56 is less than or equal to 39, which is indeed true. If I chose negative 10, you will see I get something that is not true. Negative 5 times negative 10 gives me positive 50. Positive 50 minus 6, is that less than or equal to 39? Well, let's see. 50 minus 6 gives me 44. Is 44 less than or equal to 39? No. 44 is larger than 39. So that does not work. So that is why that part is not shaded. So make sure when you're writing your note to self that you show an example, 2 examples, one that's going to be dividing or multiplying by a negative, and another that's dividing or multiplying by a positive, and showing that in one case you switch the sign, and in the other case you do not. Good luck.